want to talk a little bit about business muscle. And business is like anything. Sometimes if you haven't been to the gym for a long time and you go in, you discover muscles you never knew existed. And business is the same way. As you grow and scale, you start discovering muscles you never know existed. And it's not just about having strong muscles and strong tendons and ligaments. It's about knowing the muscles exist and how and when to use them. And so I just want to talk about that. And mostly the two that I want to focus on isn't a specific muscle group, but it's the type of muscle fiber. Fast twitch and slow twitch. In business, your fast twitch muscle, these are muscles that you shouldn't exercise every day. All right? Why? Because fast twitch, explosiveness, high heart rate, sprinter's muscles, those you need to have for making fast pivots, making decisions that need to be done in the now. You're seeing something and you have to measure and change now. And you can measure and change quickly. And you've heard me talk about speed of thought to hand, speed of thought, ideation to execution in a former vlog. And that's important. And sometimes you can do things really fast, and speed is everything in business. And honestly, it's everything in life too. Speed is everything in life. The more you can do now, the more you can compress your minutes, hours, and days, the more time you buy in life. But measuring and changing in business sometimes needs to happen really fast, and sometimes you need to take time. But business is a constant evolution of that measuring and changing, measuring and changing, measuring and changing. When you stay the same, you die. There's a beginning, a middle, and an end to everything, and we're trying to extend that middle for as long as possible. You've heard me talk about companies in Japan that are 100, 200, 500 years old. They're able to extend that middle. I don't think it's indefinite for anybody. And certainly in America, we seem to want fast and now, and it seems like big fish eat little fish, and that's the way of the world of the predatory capitalism. Folks, they don't seem to want to build iconic things anymore that do more for the community than themselves, or have more outward impact than inward impact, and it's just like what we're taught about capitalism. I think as a capitalist, there's a balance there, not to get on a soapbox, but conscious capitalism versus predatory runaway capitalism is what I'm focused on. And when I'm talking about these concepts, I'm talking about what I'm interested in, which is the longevity, building something with meaning, purpose, and not just building something quick and easy. And even with that, even if you're building something over decades or over 100 years, you still need to understand how these muscles work and how you build them and when to use them. And my best example of measuring and changing now fast twitch versus having marathon muscles, which is really what business is over time, is marathon muscles. You need a balance of both. If you have too much of one, it's detrimental, and it can be too much of either. You can run in such chaos and so explosive and under such duress that you're constantly pivoting and measuring and changing, and that is early stage business at its finest. Like, that's what happens. Or you can run a marathon, and if you look at a marathon runner, there's like not a lot of muscle mass, it's skin and bones, and sometimes they look really unhealthy versus a sprinter, which looks really healthy. Well, sprinters don't sprint all day every day, right? They build that explosive muscle on a regiment, and they have it scheduled because they need to rest between sessions. They need to, get their protein and fats and carbs and hydrate, and so sprinters muscle, and you need time to sleep and rebuild. In business, it's the same thing. If you just have sprinters muscles, if you have fast twitch muscles, if you're always in chaos and you never have time to slow down and let things really take hold and rebuild, and you're running under stress all the time, it's a real issue. At the same time, getting into a runner's high is good if you recognize it, and getting into a business high, everything is going well. Your margins are improving, your customer acquisition is excelling, your lifetime value, your reviews are good, and so you get this runner's high. It's an emotional high, and you cannot let that catch you in a complacent position. You cannot let that catch you in a complacent position. You have to make sure you are building the right muscle at the right time. These big, massive companies who grow 1% or 2% over time, or they're big, arduous. It's like turning a battleship in a bathtub when a decision is being made. We've got to, these things got to happen. These big public companies work like that. And that's why big public companies buy small, scrappy companies and don't build them. And that's why a lot of these bigger companies are dissolving their skunk works divisions, is because they don't want to build brands anymore. They want to buy brands because they're young and scrappy. And that's why you see acquisitions all the time if you pay attention. Just some insights to that. Big fish eat little fish. Big, arduous brands buy small, scrappy, fast twitch brands, and then plug them into their distribution and realize growth. But it's really important to recognize if you are in a high, you're on a runner's high, that is going to come to an end. And it's better to recognize the horizon, knowing the horizon is the end of the earth, let's call it, even though I think the earth is a sphere. It's definitely not flat. My daughter called me the other day, is the earth flat? No, the earth's freaking not flat, it's a sphere. But that it can't go on indefinitely, in prepping yourself for what comes next. We call that looking around the corner. We call that reading the tea leaves, or market dynamics. And market dynamics are really important. I've also done a vlog on market dynamics. And I've spoken to Origin, specifically our market dynamics with the greatest generation, the baby boomers and the fort builders, which are the Gen Xers. If you want to watch that video, it's somewhere back in 100, somewhere back there. So go look through the videos and find it. Yeah, I guess what I'm saying here is balance is just, it's important in everything. It's important in life. It's important in business. Recognizing, building and exercising. Recognizing, building and exercising the right muscle groups are also really important. Fast twitch, slow twitch, measuring and changing, when to pivot, when to let things ride, when to watch over time, and making sure you don't get complacent around that. For us at Origin, we love staying scrappy. Having that entrepreneurial mind is part of our culture, that scrappy culture, because we make everything from scratch, and we're not just a marketing company like a lot of these other brands where they're just importing product. Everybody, I mean, freaking Costco is importing the same thing Lululemon is. They were just putting their Kirkland brand on it, right? Like, it's the same fabric, same cut, same product. There's no soul. It was made in China by communism or other countries where the people don't care about the product. And so they can take a different approach than us. Because we make everything, we have to be very disciplined around making sure that we recognize and to build the right muscles and to build that muscle memory. So scrappiness, resourcefulness, grittiness, that's all part of our culture. I'm not saying that's got to be part of your culture, you know, but it is part of ours, and that's hard to compete with. It's like, it's really hard to compete with. I was watching this show, The English Game. It's about football, about soccer, you know, in England during the 1800s, maybe the 1860s, 70s, when industrialization was at its heights, and their mill workers had a team, and this English game, soccer, football, was new and innovative, and the aristocracy owned the rules and the game because they invented the game, but these mill workers, they are gritty, and they have started to develop the game in Scotland, and some Scottish guys came down and joined the mill workers team, and they went against the aristocracy, and on the fly the aristocracy had changed the rules, and the mill workers should have won, and yada yada yada. But they have a grit about them. You know, they're resourceful. They want to win. They're hardened, and thematically that idea is important. Where the aristocracy, where they're smoking their cigars and wearing fine clothes and tall hats, they're complacent, and their complacency is going to be their downfall. One's fast twitch, gritty, resourceful, and one is slow twitch. Listen, you got to have both minds in the room, both styles of minds and ideas, and that's important for success. You can't just be one way all the time. You got to be a little bit like a chameleon, I guess. But again, you got to be able to predict the future. And if you can do that and stay hungry, there's a pathway to winning. Gosh, I hope that all made sense. That was a lot. Where am I headed to? Atlanta, then to Georgia, to Mount Vernon Mills, and then I got to go over to Louisiana to another old mill that shut down, Vidalia, Louisiana, to look at some shuttle looms. And then I've got some vendor visits, some overflow shops that are helping us with extra capacity. I got a lot to do the next 8 weeks. So I'll take you along with me. Listen, questions, comments, concerns, grievances, Nah, no grievances. Questions, comments, ideas, like things you want me to talk about, please post below, and I'll answer as much as I can. Appreciate you following the vlog. It's been fun, been enjoying doing this, free associating. I'm just sharing things I think about. Like these are the conversations I'm having with myself, especially these coffee talks. What I'm sharing with you is what I'm thinking about. And a lot of times, things we're dealing with in business in the moment, probably 50% of the time are things that we're dealing with in business in the moment. And all these things eventually will end up in a book. And, I talked about at some point I'll release this book that I've been working on, but it's all the shit that I'm putting out there for free. And so I just hope it's helping. I hope it's helping you in your life and whatever you're doing. All right, I think I freaking missed my exit. I'm out.